on another Tulane stream for Draft Day Sports College Basketball 2020. Let's jump over here real quick. Keeping an eye on our notifications and letting everybody know that we're up. There's the red dot. We're good to go. So, here we go. We're into the season. This should be our third season with Tulane. Here we are on our dashboard. You can get a look at what our scouts think of our players. I have my own thoughts and theories on these guys. So, Stetson, obviously, very solid guard. Marquette Holmes, they've got him rated at 4.5 coming in as a freshman. I think that's a bit high. Calvin Harris is probably somewhere around where they have him ranked. Same with Ledoux. Ledoux was absolutely a beast in his freshman year. I expect that to continue. And then we've got the star of the show, BB Higgins. Now, this was a top, let's see, where was he? Number 19 nationally. He was one of the top centers. You'll have to go back and check one of the old videos. I don't know if he was the second or third best center, exactly where he was, but extremely talented. Our awful scouts. Take a look here at our staff. So you can see here, John Brinker, our scout, 1 star. You can actually click on him and see exactly what that is. He's got 30 scouting ability. So that's why, I try to form my own opinion on these guys and completely ignore whatever these coaches are saying because it's mostly nonsense. BB Higgins is going to be an absolute star. So we'll take one last look at our depth chart, and then we're going to dive head first into our third season with the Green Wave. So we do have Holmes starting, and I'm good with that. Harris backing up the shooting guard with Boyce playing the 3. Sean Larry playing, backing up the 3, rather. And Lusick not playing at all. So that's one of the things we'll have to keep an eye on. I would almost like to swap Lusick and Larry. Because Larry is a freshman. Lusick should be a senior? Yeah. Now, Boyce, also a junior, and he's definitely proven himself. I'm going to flip-flop Larry and Lusick. Let the AI set that matrix, and we're going to go from here. Yeah, we'll go from here. So let's just see how this works out, guys. If you haven't seen our last episode, let me give you a quick overview of the recruiting class. Josh Haywood, Jeff Lease, Arthur Nixon, Ben Grundy. All 4-star guys. You can see here all 4 of them ranked in the top 100 currently. That's prone to shift around a little bit. 2 in the top 50. Nixon actually top 10 at his position. They did well at camps. I think, actually, if I recall correctly, Lease is the one that I'm most unsure about. But they all should be relatively solid. So, all that being said, let's get these games going. Got Stream Elements up and running. I love it. And again, the most interesting thing here with Tulane is that American Conference, man. It's no joke. So, assuming that we have some of these out-of-conference games that we typically tend to have, hopefully, with our roster where it is now, that we should absolutely be competing for this conference, hopefully we run through these out-of-conference games, and then we really see where we're at once we get into the conference, and this team should at least be a challenger for the NCAA tournament. So, that's sort of our expectations for the season. But let's get it going right off the bat here. We got Coppin State coming on down to New Orleans to Devlin Fieldhouse. So let's see how they actually perform once they get out on the court. Woo! 90-8. Oh, but look at that. Did y'all see that? Look, this is what I'm telling you. Yes, it was a close game. Okay, look at Higgins. 25 and 15 in his debut. It doesn't look like a 2-star to me. Maybe it's just me. Somebody ping Agelia on Discord. He wants to talk a lot of trash about this guy. 25 and 15 in his first collegiate game. He's an absolute stud. He might be a one-and-done player, to be quite honest. You can see here, Holmes also did pretty well. Dropped 18, got 6 boards, 3 for 11 from 3. Not great. Boyce, Sledeau, they were fine. Lusick didn't do much in his 14 minutes. Malone showed up on the rebounds. And Serpin put in some points. Okay, so it's kind of interesting. Agalia, there he is. Big bust. Did you see the stats, son? Big bust. You might want to take another look at this. 25 and 15. Throw in 2 blocks, 2 steals, and an assist. If that's a bust, I guarantee it's better than whatever UK Center did for you in the NCBA. By my count, he's got about 25 more points and 15 more rebounds than your entire team did after the first round, as I recall. So, throwing that out there. All right, let's keep moving. I could dwell on that performance all day, but I don't really have to because he's going to have a lot more of them. Again, you're throwing up the wave. That's the B.B. Higgins wave. The guy's going to be an anchor for our program. He's the start of everything we want to do here. He's going to go pro. He's going to be that big billboard that says, bring your one-and-dones, bring your NBA talent. Come on down to New Orleans. The Tulane Green Wave are doing big things in college basketball. Now we got Hawaii, the something Warriors? The Rainbow Warriors, I believe. So Hawaii coming in. We dispatch them by 12. Marquette Holmes throws it down. Stetson almost went double-double with assists, and Boyce puts up 20. No, so no Higgins that time. He took a day off. Good luck, Agalia. Good luck, buddy. We'll see how that goes. We're going into this next season. So the first season I pulled in the NCBA, our online league, I pulled in a handful of the very top recruits and had probably the second best recruiting class. This year I went for a little bit more depth. Next year I'm stealing all Agalia's recruits. So that's just how that's going to go. So now here we go with Tulane. Let's double check our inbox. These might be letters of intent. Yeah. So all 4 of our guys, as usual, signed their letters of intent. As you know, that means they're going to qualify. So no worries about the grades. But now we're headed into Oregon. They're number 7. So this looks like a tournament game. I'm not sure which tournament this is. But we're playing in one of these preseason, I don't guess it's preseason, but early season tournaments. So in theory, it's a neutral court. I don't know exactly how this game handles that. It usually will show you, if I hadn't clicked so fast, it usually looks like you're actually playing at the home team's venue, but I don't know how the simulation handles it. Regardless, this is a huge test. We could quite possibly get blown out here, but a close game would definitely be, it would look good for the rest of the year. So let's see what happens. 58-73. B.B. Higgins got 11 rebounds. I saw a notification up here, and I didn't see what it said. So let's see if that's an injury or a post-game incident. We got an injury. All right, Chris Ledoux sprained his knee for 2 weeks, but he's still at 85%. He can still play. He's by far our best power forward. I don't think there's a center I would slide down to take his place, so we're just going to let that go. Yeah, you're right, Galia. Fallen Heroes Tournament. It lists it right over here on the side. So not only do we go to number 7, Oregon, but then we're going to go at Arizona Wildcats. So another difficult one coming right back up. Another chance to see. That was a blowout. It isn't really a shock. But, I would hope we're a little bit beyond that. I don't think we're a top 10 team by any means, but I would like to play a little bit better. On the road, it's not surprising whatsoever. But if we could play a little bit better in this next one, that would be ideal. don't know where Chris is tonight. He's supposed to be sending our tweets out and letting everybody know what's up. I know when we go live, it should send out messages on our Discord. But I don't do Twitter. I have no idea what that's all about, so I can't get the word out quite as well. I'm excited to see what happens here against Arizona. I really hope it's better than a 20-point loss. And I really hope Higgins shows up again. All right, so here we go. Arizona's 2-2, 2-1 at home. So they've already got one home loss. Let's put them back to 500 at home. What do you say? I don't like Wildcats anyway, you know that. So, Tulane headed into the Arizona Wildcats, and oh, that's a close one, guys. BB Higgins again, nearly with a double-double. Stetson Ledoux showed up. We did lose by 7, but that's on the road at a top 10 team. Blazer Taz in chat. What's up, buddy? I don't know how many of these Tulane ones you've seen, but we might be 2-2 right now. We're looking good. We just went on the road and played Arizona pretty close. Gave them a real good scare at their place. So glad you're stopping by the stream. Hang tight. You might see a American Athletic Conference Championship here tonight. As always, you know, I break these into 2 halves each season. I do the recruiting half and then the game half. So tonight we're doing the game half. I'll take you all the way through all of the games. And then, last time we did this, we did a little bit of bonus content and did the off-season stuff and saw how that played out before the recruiting started back up. So we'll just see how long this takes and how it goes. And BB Higgins did just fine in the big games. Let's see what we do here on the road at Western Michigan. So we've had back-to-back road games. The first one didn't turn out well. Second one was close, but still a loss. If we could win some like this against some of these more mediocre opponents, that would just be another good sign. Look over here. UC Bearcats doing work against Providence. Cal went on the road, took care of South Florida. All right, Tulane headed into Western Michigan. Oh, we got drummed. BB Higgins did go 17-13, but apparently they don't know how to play defense on the road. We lost by 18 to really not a great team. Hey, 14-9 solid. For a college player, you're talking about a 40-minute game, he's probably playing 30 to 34 minutes, something like that. I'll take 14-9 all day out of my center, especially when he's a freshman playing his 3rd or 4th collegiate game. We're about to hit yeah, that was a big oof. We're about to hit a slate of home games, so I believe. So this should this should get squared away, and then we'll jump into that conference where, we know that's where it's all about every year. There's Dwayne Meeks. I wonder if he's any relation to Jody Meeks, the old Wildcat. So now we got Pepperdine coming in, and time to start winning games. So we got all the talent in the world. They are young. We don't know how long they'll stick around, but they're here for now, so they need to go out and make it happen on the court. There we go. 9-point win at home. Look at Marquette Holmes with 24. Higgins again, nearly a double-double. I think that's the second time he's been just 1 rebound short. Maybe 2. Yeah, Blaze, I hear you, buddy. Life is kind of crazy for everybody right now. So I'm glad that you're stopping by. We ran like 5 seasons with Florida A&M, and then we got an offer from Tulane. They're in a much better conference. The school's more prestigious. We jumped over here, and since we came over here, we've been bringing in recruiting classes like crazy. We actually played Hawaii. Did you join the stream early enough to see me play Hawaii? We played them. Didn't go well for your boys, but I've had that too. I had a Georgia save that I played forever, and then I got so angry because They wouldn't like upgrade the facilities, upgrade the budget, any of that sort of thing. So after like 8 or 10 seasons, finally I jumped off to like Georgetown or something, and it didn't go well for me the rest of that save, and that save ended up going by the wayside. But our coach's goals for the season, I'll go back. I'll see if I can go back and find you the box score. So we want to qualify for the NIT tournament. If we don't do that, I'll be extremely disappointed. Top half of the conference, 15 games, and improve school prestige. I think, given our roster, all of these should be a lock with the possible exception of improving school prestige. So we can jump back over to the dashboard. You're going to allow conference movement. You want to do like the relegation kind of thing? You're going to take a low team and see if you can move them into a high conference? Here we played Hawaii at home. It ended up 73-61. So here you can see our box scores. Marquette Holmes really went off that game. I mean, all of our starters played well. Look at that. We only had 3 bench points that game. That's interesting. I mean, the bench played 40, 50 minutes, but only 3 points. Most of our scoring came out of our starters. So, there's your Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. Yeah, we can do the goals. So you're going to try to get Hawaii into the pack. Yeah, that's a good idea. What's up, Atomic, man? Glad you could make it. Yeah, getting Hawaii into the pack would be really cool, because the thing about, like, once you're in some of these bigger conferences, you get so many more opportunities to play against decent teams, and your prestige goes up like crazy. So all right, do we still not have a game? Goodness gracious. Going a long stretch here with no games. Hey, so just joining the stream, Atomic. We had a couple of early games against kind of mid-level teams at home. We took care of that. Then we went on the road, played a couple of top 10 teams. Got beat pretty good once, played pretty good against Arizona, and then we absolutely got beaten by a mediocre Western Michigan team on the road. So it's been a little bit back and forth. We haven't lost anything that we shouldn't have yet. We don't have any bad losses. I wouldn't consider any road loss a bad loss unless they were a really, really bad team. So Agalia's going to keep on going on BB Higgins. The dude's getting a double-double nearly. Like, getting at least close every game. He's not having it. Like, the dude. Let's go look at the stats real quick. We're what, 6, 7 games in? So there you go. 14 and a half and 11 rebounds as a freshman. Now you tell me. If that's a bust, I'd like to see what you've got on that Kentucky team. We're just going with, Atomic asked what the drink of choice is tonight. We're going with some Miller Lite, 16-ounce twist-offs. Not the cans. These are the ones that got the big circle mouth or whatever. All right, so headed on the road to the Virginia Cavaliers. They're 7-1, undefeated at home. So, what's up, Breeze? Glad to have you, buddy. So now here we are. We're still December 7th. And we're playing our third road game against a top 11 opponent. Is that right? Arizona, Oregon, and Virginia. So, heck of a schedule here. Ooh, fireball. No, thank you. If you like it and that's your thing, go to town. That is not for me. Those days have passed. All right, Tulane headed into Virginia. See what we can make happen. 8-point win. That's your Tulane Green Wave. taking out the number 11 Virginia Cavaliers on the road. That's an ACC team. I didn't even get to see. All I saw was the score, and I lost my mind. How'd they play? Who played well? Tell me it was Higgins. Higgins, 19-8. Leading scorer. Marquette Holmes with 21. Guys, look at that. The other thing is... Sorry, hold on. If that rings again, I might have to pause the stream and take it. But the thing is, these are all outside of Boyce. Ledo's a sophomore, Higgins a freshman, Stetson a sophomore, Holmes a freshman. This is ridiculous, guys. People surprised if you have anything other than Fireball. That's awesome, man. So watch. Breeze, don't be confused, buddy. It's really not all that complex once you get into it. If you want to go back and watch a couple of the older streams, that'll definitely help you out. But if you just want to, watch us live and talk and ask questions as we go, I'm definitely here for that too. So, yeah, Marquette Holmes is also a freshman. He's the one that got rated 4.5 stars, and I was thinking that he definitely should have been lower than 4.5. You can see here he's a freshman. He was the 33rd ranked player nationally. So I definitely think he should be a little bit lower than that. But he's definitely, like, the way he's doing, he's at least like a 3.5 star player. Our scouts only got 30 talent, so I don't trust him at all. But, BB Higgins is 100% better than 2-star. So it goes a little bit both ways. The old streams taught you how to play. I appreciate that. Hey, go check out the top 10 videos if you haven't. They still got a lot of good information in them. And then, Breeze, if you're confused, but it just this stream is just about the games and about the season, and so I go through that. And maybe at the end, depending on how long it takes, I might do some of the coaching changes and whatnot. But as far as the recruiting stuff, I break that into separate videos. So, but I've got at least 8 seasons of recruiting up. So you can go and see how I did it at Florida A&M. And now you can see how I've done it at Tulane so far. And it's going to change a little bit as we go forward, because when you're at a very small school, you just have to do it differently than you're going to do it at a big school. But if you go through those, if you watch the top 10 video and then go through some of the older streams, you're going to pick up on it fairly easily, I believe. So here we go. We got Cal State Fullerton coming in. They're 2-5. Wow, 2-5 away. Their athletic director did them no favors. They haven't played a home game yet, but they're coming into Tulane, where we're so far undefeated at home. So this is the first one of those games that this is one of those we should win. And we take care of business by 22. Holmes, Ledo, and Boyce doing work. No Higgins, so, Agelia likes to talk about how he disappears against the studs. He didn't really show up against Cal State there. And the Florida A&M years were fine. The last year of recruiting there was pretty brutal. I was glad to get an offer and get out of there because we didn't have any commitments. But we had a solid team, so we honestly, that's one of those things. In this game, if you don't have any playing time available, it doesn't matter what school you're at, it's really going to hurt you. All right, so we're 5-3, about halfway through December. And 2 of those losses are to top 10 teams on the road. So Western Michigan is really our only questionable loss. I wouldn't say it's necessarily a bad loss. It's not a good loss. I always appreciate Agelia joining in to talk a little bit of smack. It always helps keep things lively. Here we go, Southern Utah, 2-5, 1-4 away. So another team is playing most of the games on the road. They're not very good. This is absolutely a should-win type of game. Southern Utah Thunderbirds. I don't think I've ever heard of the Thunderbirds. Ah, that's a brutal home loss, guys. 75-70. What happened there? So what happened was Stetson and Holmes, both of our starting guards, both fouled out. They played all right. But you can see our starters are pretty consistently showing up. And our bench is giving us nothing. So what we're going to do, because we did make one change before the season started, so I've heard of them now. That's absolutely accurate. Let's take a look here at how Lusak's playing so far this year. So he's playing 14 minutes a game. He's shooting 26% from the field, 22% from three. For a senior that I expected to play decently, this is absolute trash. So we're going to swap this around. I'll put Sean Larry back into a position to be playing some minutes. So that'll get 10 minutes out of Sean Larry, and let's see if he can be a little bit of a boost off the bench, because nobody else is really doing it at all. Oh, Boston College, I don't think you have to go local. You might be better off staying in region, but I mean, every school's better staying in region. Depending on your recruiting level. Like on brutal recruiting, I would definitely stay in region with almost every school for the most part. If you drop down to like normal recruiting difficulty, Lusak was good last season. I don't know what he's doing, but we've already played 10 games here, and he's been absolutely terrible. So, if you're on like normal difficulty recruiting and you're at Duke or UK or something like that, yeah, you can recruit all over the country and pull in great players. But with Boston College, if you're on normal recruiting, I would recruit mostly out of the America East and maybe the Midwest. If you're on brutal, I would definitely just stick with the American East. Yeah, I definitely envision playing out games at some point. I wanted to get to actually know the players. And I was hoping to get to like our final destination school before I did that, and really be set up with a roster that I was comfortable with. I kind of think, given the way that the recruiting has been going on this, I think that Tulane probably is our final destination school. So another season or two, and yeah, I'm going to start throwing up some games. So probably, I don't know, a couple of weeks. And I'll probably try to play some games. And I'll try to do it like, so far I've been getting about a season a week. At some point I'll try to throw in an extra day when life calms down a little bit, just so we can play out like a single game or two here and there. It does take time to build a consistent winner, especially as you increase that difficulty level. On normal difficulty, I mean, if you even have a somewhat average team, something in like the 50s prestige-wise, you can, well, depending on your coach also, but you can come around pretty quick. But if you crank that recruiting up, man, it gets difficult. It gets difficult to win at the Blue Blood schools. I've been fired plenty of times in this game. I've never known if I actually get better results from coaching out the games or not. But I definitely get a lot more immersion by actually coaching out the games. You get to know your players a lot better, what they're doing, what they're not doing, and that sort of thing. In this save, I believe we're on normal difficulty recruiting. Yeah, we're on normal recruiting difficulty level here. So that's why it's been so incredibly easy. Like at Florida A&M, it was absolutely brutal. Our coach had like 30 recruiting ability. Our school had like 4 prestige. Our conference had 20 prestige. It was brutal. As our coach has gotten better, now we're at Tulane. It's gotten considerably easier. So Utah State coming in to New Orleans. Let's see if we can serve at home court here. And we do. 7 points. Marquette Holmes again. Looked like BB Higgins went 9 and 13. So again, look at poor Stetson. Yikes. But back to the recruiting difficulty. We may change it around in this save. I'm not sure exactly what we'll do. We could see how far we can take this Tulane team on normal, and then if we end up, hope CB21 will be better. I love CB20. I don't know of anything with this one that, like, any big outstanding flaws, but what kind of things are you hoping to see changed in CB21, Breeze? So yeah, maybe we'll see how far we can take Tulane on normal difficulty, and then if we get some kind of other offer, switch it up to brutal and see how it goes there. The main difference to me is brutal. I don't want to say it introduces a little bit of like false difficulty or like people that just won't go for no reason, but maybe it increases the importance of playing time. I'm not certain. But it's more like, as of right now, on normal, I can target 4 guys and I pretty much get them. On brutal, some years I'm going to get all 4 of them. Some years I'm going to get none of them. And most often I'm going to get 2 or 3 of them. So, I don't know. It's an interesting difference. It's really hard to explain unless you just play like a couple of dozen seasons. I probably played... I've probably played 100 seasons of this through various different saves. Yes, so when you get the emails of the players, it doesn't always have a link. Some of the emails do, and some of them don't. So it depends on which email. Like if you're talking about a recruit that does a on-campus visit, or you're doing an in-home visit, yeah, it generally won't have a link. On the camps, when your coaches give you a list of the players that go to that camp, that one actually has links. So that's one of those interesting things. Obviously, the capability is there. So why don't they link it every time that you get an email? That's a great point. Yeah, add them to your watch list is an easy workaround, and that's one of the reasons I've never thought about it or complained about it. But if the capability is there, why shouldn't we be able to just click a link every time? You might want to jump into one of the Wolverine Studios streams and make that recommendation, Breeze. They're pretty responsive, and they've input a lot of user recommendations into most of their games. So when you have good ideas, make them known, and they take them to heart. So now we got Loyola coming in. Another one we really need to win, and we do. 18 points. Marquette Holmes. Man, I've really downplayed him so far, but man, is he... he just fills it up. Man, what a player. So he came in as a 33rd ranked recruit nationally, but so far this season, he might be number 1 in our hearts. Let's look. Let's compare Holmes and Higgins. Holmes, 18 a game, 5.5 rebounds, 2 assists, not too shy. Look at our assists out of our guards. They're all doing really well. Jones is averaging 2.5 assists in 11 minutes. So that's really nice to see. And you can come down here and see Higgins, only 13 points a game. He's dropped down to 9.5 rebounds. Pretty good with blocks, steals, all this other stuff. I mean, for a center, to be leading the team in steals per game is interesting. I mean, there's a couple people at .9, so it's not a runaway by any means, but it's definitely interesting. Yeah, most of my saves are with Louisville. I actually try to get away from it because I've had so many saves with Louisville. I get them all mixed up. So I do have a solo save with Louisville. I've also got my Louisville team in the NCBA, which is our online league. Now, I've had dozens of saves with Louisville over the years in various versions of the games. Big Bust Higgins, Team Holmes. I'm definitely Team Holmes. I don't know that I'm off of Higgins by any means, by any stretch of the imagination. He's doing work on the inside. But I'm Team Tulane. I'm Team Green Wave. Taking that all the way, baby. We're 7-4. We got to be getting close to conference play, right? January 1st, here we go into conference play. Let's get it moving. All right, guys. Let's get these conference games going. Time to buckle down, tighten it up. We need to get about 4 or 5 more games in and see how Sean Larry is actually playing in comparison to what Lusick was doing earlier in the season. No, I've never skipped a summer. To me, I don't know. I'm not sure why that option's in there. I guess there are people that don't like that part of the game. To me, college basketball and college football, for that matter, are all about recruiting. Now, you can see what I'm doing here during the season. Absolutely nothing. I set up my offense, set up my practice, and I roll with it. To me, the entire difference is the recruiting. So why would I skip it? That's the whole game as far as I'm concerned. All right, so here we go. Wichita State in the conference opener coming down to play us at Devlin Fieldhouse. Woo! Took care of business. It was a 23-point win. Holmes and Higgins both went off. So our freshmen are leading the way early in conference. Looking good. Looking good. You know, pro basketball and college basketball, both from Wolverine Studios, are very similar games. I mean, if you're more familiar with pro basketball and that's what you enjoy, then you're gonna be able to get immersed in it and then get more enjoyment out of it for sure. The same way that, like, I'm a college basketball fan, so I get more out of the college game, but it's a lot of the same game. There's some different offensive sets. I think there's some different defensive sets. You know, you've got the D League or whatever they call it, or G League, but there's, from just the basic gameplay, I mean, one's got recruiting, one's got a draft. All right, so now we're headed into UConn. So it's a road game against UConn. UConn has been in the top 25 our first 2 seasons. They've been a really, really tough opponent, but it looks like, you know, they're not in the rankings this year. They might be a little bit down. This is probably our best team. So, yeah, 7-point win. Look at my boy, BB with the DD double-double, 15 and 14. Stetson throws in 17. But we did have either an incident or an injury, so we can't get too excited about the big win over the Huskies because we got something going on with our team. We got to go check it out. Oh, God, Holmes is hurt. How bad? Oh, please. Paper cut. Mild concussion, 10 days. Okay. All right, so he'll be a little bit dizzy, but he's all right. Taking out illegal recruiting. Word to the wise. It depends on the recruiting level that you go at. Because if you go at normal, you're good to go. But if you go at brutal recruiting, it will make you angry. And so one of the things I've found is that if I do brutal recruiting difficulty, I like to leave the illegal recruiting on so that if I lose recruits, I can just be like, oh, they paid them. What can I do? It's like an out for me because otherwise I'll break things. Yeah, he'll shake it off. He'll walk that off. Rub some dirt on it. He'll be all right. So, big win at the University of Connecticut. Takes us to 2-0 in conference. So now we just need to survive and not have any bad losses while Holmes is recovering from that concussion. Whew. Man, I'm feeling good about this. I'm feeling good about this season, boys and girls. Feeling real good about it. East Carolina coming in. Now, this is a good team this year. 10-3. So this is shaky. This is one, we'd really like Holmes to be at full strength here. What's up, Chris? Booyah. Breeze, you got to go watch the videos and get the real tips from the source. All right, here we go. East Carolina coming in. Big game in the AAC. Oh, yes, sir. Look at Stetson, 13-13. Did you see that? Look at Stetson. No, Agalia didn't grab any recruits in the NCBA. His team just sucked, so he had a ton of playing time to offer. That's all that was. Every other decent team in the league was filled up with good players, and UK sucked. That's why they lost in the first round to a 16 seed. All right. How many days into this are we? We need to bounce over and check how far through that concussion Holmes is. Hey, look, 2 or 3 of these losses are against top 10 teams on the road. All right, so 5 more days on Holmes. Yeah, I'd stick to it too. That's all right. My first season, I didn't even make the tournament. At least you got a 1 seed. I almost got fired in 1 season. Didn't even recruit any of the players. So here we go. That's an NCBA thing for anybody that's not in the online league. Half the people in chat are talking about our online league. So guys, if you're watching the stream and you're not in our online league, you're doing something wrong. Get over on Discord, hook up with us, and we'll get you included for sure. But here we go. Houston and Tulane. Another home game for us. We're 3-0 in conference so far. Houston is winless. Let's hope that we can keep it that way. Oh, yeah. 12-point win. Relatively low scoring, but you can see here, Boystar senior, and then Ladeau the sophomore, Stetson the sophomore. So looks like a game that the freshman kind of checked out of. Not any surprise out of Holmes, given that, he got his brain bounced off of his skull not all that long ago, and he's still trying to get over that. I've never seen a 1 seed with 11 losses. That was a little bit ridiculous, Agalia. But, it's not your fault that the committee screwed up, right? What can you do about it? You just go out there and play the games. And wasn't didn't you have a 5-star recruit, like a top 10 recruit, that blew out his knee in the game against Louisville? Blazer, the league doesn't take up all that much time. If you got 15 minutes a day, tops, you could take care of it. And it's like 15 minutes a day during recruiting season. And once you get into the actual league, you don't have to do anything, like through the season. You can ask Chris. He asked me about how much time it was taking up, and it's just not much at all. So it was a Louisville game that he blew out his knee, but that was like a 5-star, what was it, Perez? It was like a 5-star guy, right? Shot put bounties out on all the Wildcats. What are you talking about? Eric Alexander was in there going full on like Jeff Gillooly. So now, see, I talk about this American Conference being legit. Look at UC and Memphis over here, number 10 and number 12. That's a heck of a game. And now here we go on the road to Temple, who's currently number 25. You know, we haven't hit any great wins yet. Yeah, it's fun, Blaze. And not everybody's in there all day, every day, so like, you won't stand out. If you enjoy it, you know, hop on in, grab you a team, and see what happens. You know, there's no huge commitment, really. Green Wave headed into Temple against a top 25 team on the road. They are 1-3 in the AAC, so that's actually interesting. But they still take care of us. I would stick to one team to start with online. So I did see Marquette Holmes was the leading scorer. I didn't see anything else on it. I was too disappointed that we lost. But again, it's a top 25 team on the road. It happens. Still 4-1 in the league. Off to a really good conference start. We're having a good season. This is all going the way that we would like for it to be. And now we come up to yet another roadblock with Tulsa coming in. So this is another game against an evenly matched team, and you would hope we can take care of business at home here. Yes, sir. Look at him. 11-15. Boyce with 21. Stetson with 11. BB Higgins still leading the way. So another, not must win, but should win. Another should win. And we put up another W. So, I mean, this is going, I don't want to say it's going perfectly, but it's going well. How about that? This is going well. We are 17 games into the season, 6 games into the conference. So, as I recall, it's an 18-game conference schedule, so we should have 12 games left. BB Higgins, I call him DD Higgins. He gets all the double-doubles basically every other game. It's absolutely ridiculous. If you took all the games that he was either 1 point or 1 rebound short of a double-double, I think he'd probably be close to like 7 or 8. So I'm calling him DD Higgins from now on. He's most definitely not a 2-star player. Now, I don't know if he's the best player on the team the way that I expected, because Marquette Holmes has been absolutely ridiculous. Now, here is an interesting test. You got a top 10 team coming into our place. So we did have that big win on the road against the number 11 team. Let's see what happens when UC comes into Devlin Fieldhouse. So Ledoux showed up big. Higgins had a good game. I didn't see anything out of our guards, really. But, you know, we're not a top 10 team. I don't guess that that's really necessarily a shock. In a year or two, we should be. We're not there yet. You know, we run fairly balanced offensive systems. Let me double check what exactly we're running, because I've got a handful of saves. I can't always guarantee it. So we're running motion and triangle. These are my favorite 2 offenses. They're both pretty standard. We've got it as a balanced focus and using the offensive set 60%. So I wouldn't say that these favor the outside any more than the inside. Hey, Blaze, send me or Chris a message on Discord and we'll get you hooked up in the NCBA, buddy. So, yeah, these offenses I don't think are making the difference. Let's take a look at how our scout has them rated. So, Marquette Holmes with a 7 in scoring. BB Higgins with a 4. So, I don't know that these are exactly right because our scout is so atrocious, but there's probably something to that Holmes is just a better scorer. There you go. Thanks for the link up, Chris. Agalia subscribing. Appreciate it, buddy. All right. Let's keep on moving here. We're going to get to better days. So we're headed on the road to the Central Florida Black Knights? Golden Knights? Something Knights. Just the Knights. There we go. CFE Arena. Another one of these lame places that we need to rename. All right, so let's see if we can win a big conference game on the road against Central Florida. Yes, sir, by 25. Marquette Holmes going off. Higgins 15 and 13. DD Higgins, my boy. Stetson had a big game. Man, looking good. Looking good. I wonder how you rename. I wonder if you can rename players. I definitely need to go and rename him D.D. Higgins, for sure. If that's not an option, I need to email someone. Yeah, we just made affiliate within the last week, so we really do appreciate it. All you guys that are in here, I'm sure you're all following. It's been a whole lot of fun. Like we didn't really have, at least I didn't, and I don't think Chris did either. We didn't really have a whole lot of expectations for what was going to go on with the Twitch stream. I was just having some fun, and Chris was having some fun with me. I think seeing just what was going to go on and trying to spread the word about these games because they're really good games. I like to spread the word about the NCBA because it's a great online league for this game. It adds a lot to it when you're playing with other people. Like, it's one thing to recruit and beat the computer, but to recruit against other players and beat them out, so much fun. It takes it to a whole nother level. So that's one of the main reasons I wanted to just kind of, get this content out there to people and let them take a look at it and see what's going on. And then the other reason is because once people started joining, a lot of people hadn't been in it. Like, I know Breeze talked about, he was having some difficulty getting into the game. So I just wanted to, let people see the way that I was doing it, because I don't want to say that it's necessarily, it's not the best way, but it's a way that's worked for me. So just to help people, get into it and give them a little bit of help getting started so that, everybody was on somewhat of a even footing when we got in there. So now, here we go, headed into Wichita State. The Shockers came into Tulane. We took care of business when they were at our place. Now we've got to return the favor, and we take care of business on the road with an 11-point win. And again, Marquette Holmes is my boy. Marquette Holmes is my boy. All right, chat's talking about emotes. I don't know anything about that. I'll let Chris figure that out. As usual, I like to play the game and run my mouth, and Chris does all the important behind-the-scenes stuff and lets people know what's up and takes care of the technical aspects of basically everything because he's awesome. So, all we need, Agalia, is a big green wave. Take that little wave icon you do, Photoshop it green, and that's all we need. Unless, like I said, if we accomplish everything we want to at Tulane on this recruiting level, that's probably when I would consider moving to another school, upping the recruiting to brutal and seeing what we can do. But for now, I foresee at least 10 years at Tulane. South Florida Bulls, 3-6 in conference, 8-13 overall, coming in. So this is another one of those. Nothing's a must-win when you're having a good season, but another should-win. And we do by 23. Calvin Harris off the bench. So this is a good point to jump in and see what Harris is doing, as well as Sean Larry. All right, so here's Harris. He's scoring 6 a game in 10 minutes, so that's pretty good. You talk about, what is that, like 0.6 points per minute? I mean, not bad. Check out Lusick at 12 minutes a game. Larry at 8. And he's scoring a little bit more. Less personal fouls. Same turnovers. More blocks, more steals. Not as good assist-wise. So this is fairly even, but look at the shooting percentages. I don't see any reason to bring Lusick back in over top of Larry. I think we're going to stick with Sean Larry here. Yeah, so Boyce is playing the 3. Holmes is starting at the 2. Harris is backing that up. I really like what we have going on here so far. I don't see any reason to change anything up at this point. I do wish Jay Malone was producing a little bit more, but he is still just a sophomore. So, I mean, he was a guy we knew would be good, but he does need to develop a little bit. So, that's all right. All right, so 8-2 in conference. We should have 8 games left on the season. Let's power through this. At this point, guys, I absolutely foresee an NCAA berth. Absolutely. Now, the conference, the one thing that could challenge that to some degree, our conference is a little bit down in comparison to prior seasons, because before you had UC, Memphis, UConn, SMU, and I think even Tulsa at one point were all ranked. At this point, we really only have 2. Yeah, the starters are really all that we have going on for us right now. I do think Calvin Harris looks good. Sean Larry might be all right. Jay Malone might be all right. That's about as deep as I really want to take it. But here we go on the road to number 9 Memphis. So it looked like they're undefeated on the season in conference. Probably going to be a tough one to come out of with a win. We can always give it a shot, right? I mean, we do have players. And to me, Higgins, and certainly based on what he's done so far this season, Holmes, both of those guys, they're certainly capable of going off at any point. So if they go off in Memphis, we could pull one out. Unfortunately, Higgins did come through. Another D.D. Higgins kind of night. It looked like Odo had a good night. I didn't see who our third guy was, but we did lose by 10. Not terrible on the road against top 10 teams, guys. We took over the Tulane Green Wave. We're in season 3, and we are absolutely, night after night, competing with top 10 teams on the road. You know, UC did beat us at home, but this is very solid. I'm very, very, very much okay with how this season's going so far. Nice. Glad to have another NCBA'er. All right, now SMU coming in. Here we go. We're 8-3, 15-7 overall. It's definitely another should win. We need to take care of business against this team. You can't lose against bad teams at home. And we don't. Higgins with 20. Ledo had a big game. Boyce had a big game, and we win by 16 against the Mustangs of Southern Methodist University. Although it looks like we've got another one, either another injury or another team incident. No worries, Breeze. Glad you're around, buddy. If you ever need any help when I'm offline, I'm happy to help out. If you got questions and whatnot, shoot me a message. So it doesn't look like we have a team incident. Got to be some kind of injury. And here we go. It's Justin Anderson with a sprained ankle. He's not really one of our big-time players. We don't need to make any big changes over that. So let's push forward. 6 games left in the regular season by my count. Into the middle of February. Let's do one quick. I like to test this occasionally because a theory that I have. So, my school's minimum SAT score is a 960. Just like to take a look at my call and watch list, everybody I put on the list, see if any of them failed it. Oh, we had a couple of them fail it. Ander, Higgins. I don't think that necessarily disproves my theory, because in this save, I'm putting a lot of people that don't have any initial interest onto my lists. I am curious, though, like if people start out with interest in your school, if they'll ever not qualify. If you generate the interest, they fail to qualify all the time. But if they start off with either cool or warm, I've yet to have one not qualify. All right, UConn coming into Devlin Fieldhouse. We won on the road. Let's see if we can hold them off and sweep the season series, or if they're going to give us a little bit of payback here. Oh, we got to take the payback. That hurts. That hurts, guys. I despise winning on the road and then losing at home to the same team. That's very, very frustrating. Again, it depends on the SAT score, man. I've had guys get like a 2.3 and pull like 1100s on the SAT. Some guys are just ridiculous. I've also had it the other way, though. So I always use the initial interest. Once I'm at a school that's generating interest out of a lot of guys, I no longer attempt to recruit people that are at none interest, unless they're significantly above the GPA level where I think they would qualify. So, like, if my qualification is a 960, I would happily recruit anybody like a 2.8 or above. Probably. So, headed into East Carolina, looks like another tough game, and these are getting to, like, I don't know if should win is the case, but winning would be helpful. Winning would definitely be helpful here. We can't do it. Double Higgins doing his thing. Marquette Holmes doing his thing. My guess is the bench totally no-showed again. Very frustrating. We've got a handful of excellent players, and they're very young. They're trying to do whatever they can, and they're just not quite getting over the hump. I still think this should be, unless we have a major meltdown, this should be an NCAA team. I do need to see our RPI, though, to get a better grasp on that, I suppose. I mean, we're 9-5 in the AAC now. Here we go. Now, this is this is a must win. You have to win on the road against bad teams like this. The good news is we've already got our 15 wins, so first part of our coach's goals already achieved here, 16-9, and still 4 games left to play in the season, including this game at Houston. We really need to go in there and have a good showing, and we didn't do it. Lost by 3 to a god-awful Houston team, down to 9-6. So that's really the first extremely disappointing loss of the season, in my opinion. The Western Michigan beating on the road was bad. That one at Houston really hurt. They were not a good team. So now here we sit, 3 games left, and we need something to turn around. Let's take a look at standings real quick. Take a look at Memphis, 15-0 in conference. Here we are at 9-6. One of our goals is to finish top half of the conference. As long as we don't lose out, we should pretty easily achieve that. Let's see if we can jump over here and take a look. So RPI, we're at 31. All right, so February 25th. Let's play one more game and then take a look at the bubble watch and see what it says about Tulane. So we got the Temple Owls coming into our place. I've been hesitant to say must win, but this is getting pretty close. It's as close as we've been all year. We took care of business. 91-74. Higgins, Holmes, and Ladeau. That feels good. So that gets us back on track, I think. All right, I will simulate up until our next game, and then we're going to take a look at the bubble. I'm hoping that we're in like the top 40 for at-large bids. Whew. It's a lot closer than I thought it would be. You know, I certainly thought that I thought we'd have another 2, maybe 3 wins. Alfred Naismith, whoo. Where's his brother James with the peach basket? All right, so we're headed on the road to Tulsa. Let's go take a look real quick. One more look at the standings. So here we are at 10-6. Middle of the conference is right here with Tulsa 8-8. So if we win, even if we lose out and they win out, we would tie essentially. Let us take a look at polls and media and see what we look like on the bubble watch. I certainly think we should be favored to be in. I always look over here first. Look at all the teams are beaten out, hopefully. All right, so the teams that are in, when we scroll on down, there's my Cardinals. They should be way up there, so I don't know what their loser coach is doing. Here we go. So we're at number 41 on the list of who's in. So you do the math, that's what, around a 10 seed? Is that right? So not great. Where are... Looking for the automatic bid marks. They got them kind of here in the middle. Like down here at the bottom, you can see they're estimating who's going to be automatic bids all the way up into here. All right, so we are close, guys. So here, right here, Morehead State is one of the highest ranked automatic bids that the computer is estimating are going to get. If you take a look, 1, 2, 3, 4, Texas El Paso is an automatic bid. So 5, 6, we are the 6th one from the bottom as far as that large bids goes. So we definitely need to, close out strong here and have a good showing in the conference tournament. (17-10), 10-6 overall. Headed on the road to Tulsa. Need to make something happen. This isn't by any means a must-win, but we should get one out of the next 2 to feel better about ourselves. We can't get that one. Ladeau did his best, but no kind of help for him. All right, should be one left. We can check the dashboard and make sure. My chat has completely stopped. Oh my God. Got to go on the road to UC. That's going to be brutal. I don't foresee that as a win. It would be huge if we got it. But this is going to fall down to us winning a game or 2 in the conference tournament. So we are really, really, truly a bubble team here. This could still go either way. I still think, we're going to the NIT regardless, but we still have a shot at the NCAA. So our coach's goals are fine. This is about pride right now. This is about D.D. Higgins doing his thing. So headed into the nasty natty. Oh, we took care of him. Look at my boy D.D. Higgins. 1 rebound short yet again. 10-point win on the road at UC. Sean Larry coming off the bench, dropping 9 and 5. There we go. There we go. So that's a big win. That's the one we've been waiting for all year. We did have the big win against Virginia earlier in the year on the road, but you could see in the RPI there they had fallen back behind us. But now to double it up with the win at Cincinnati, guys, this is an NCAA tournament team. We're in year 8 out of a completely bottom rung coach, bottom rung school. We had 4 prestige at our school. Year 8, we're going to the NCAA tournament. And I think we're going to be dangerous. And nobody declared for the draft. Now, we only really had one that might have. But double Higgins will be returning. So this is going to get even crazier next season. So, man, I cannot wait for next season to come around. It's going to be awesome. But now it's time to get into the postseason of this season. So 18-11, 11-7 overall. Nice little winning record there. Let's see what we can do in this conference tournament. I think we should be able to win the first round game. Should. There's always a lot of shoulds in college basketball, though, and they don't always work out. So we'll see how it actually goes. All right, so, and see, that's the only problem about doing well in your season is you miss out on these first-round games against all the teams that did terribly all year. So there's all the teams that did terribly all year. They're going to play and knock each other out, and then we got to play the winners. All right, so we're going to be playing ECU. You know, on a neutral court, this should be basically a toss-up, I suppose. God bless. Lose our first game of the conference. Hopefully the win over UC. Look, UC got knocked out early. Whew. Wichita State beat UC by 24. Oh, they're 14-18. UC was a top 10 team. So actually that hurts us because that was sort of the win that I felt like catapulted us in. And now Wichita State just kneecapped it. And then ECU beats Wichita by 20. ECU is on fire. What are they going to do in the finals of this conference tournament against UConn? So 2 teams that we beat in the regular season. And UConn ends up winning it. Yeah, Agelia said rip. That's absolutely right. It's college basketball, man. You get hot and you can make anything happen. So now this is actually going to be maybe the most exciting moment that we've had yet on the GM Games Twitch stream. We're going into a NCAA selection show, and we are 150% squarely on the bubble. We could be in a play-in game. We could be a 12 seed somewhere. We could be in the NIT. I have no idea what's going to happen here, guys. But we got to, let's take a look. The selection is going to be awesome. It's one of the coolest aspects of the game. I think we're in. Get your votes in now before we see what actually happens. All right, let's see. There's Cal State Fullerton. They're in. Wow. Morgan State, one of our foes from Florida A&M. Virginia made it in. Now, you recall they were a little behind us earlier, but I don't know how they finished off. There's Chris's Trojans. You think we're going to the NIT? Ugh. All right. The Villanova Wildcats take the number 1 overall seed at 31-1. Wow. Memphis takes a 2 seed. Illinois, New Mexico, Duke with a 10. Now, that's one of the interesting things about this game is basically in the first couple of seasons, Mike Krzyzewski always retires and Duke gets taken over by somebody else, and they always end up being terrible. So, Louisville getting an 8 seed. They should be much better than that. Get out of here with an 8 seed. Yeah, Breeze, make sure you got all of your offers out no later than September 4th. All right, so there is Charlotte. Let's take a look here at St. Louis. We got the South Carolina Gamecocks taking a 1 seed. Syracuse with the 2. Michigan in a 3. UC with the 4. UConn takes a 5 seed. So we won at UConn. They're taking a 5 seed. Tulsa's taking an 11. There's your 7-10. There we go, baby. The Tulane Green Wave. Taking on the Marquette Golden Eagles in an 8-9 game in the NCAA tournament. Take that. Agalia calling us to the NIT. Get out of here with your NIT. We're going to the big dance. We're dancing. We're taking down the Golden Eagles. And then we're taking down the Gamecocks. That's what's going to happen. Whew. I was going slow because I was worried I'd miss it. All right, so finishing this off, we got Alabama, your second SEC team with a 1 seed. The Oregon Ducks with the 2. That's one of the teams that we lost to on the road in that Fighters whatever championship. Texas, Chris's new team, takes the 3. Providence with a 4. Got IU, Arizona, Baylor, ECU, Minnesota, Arizona State. Now, NC State with the last 1 seed. Pitt with a 2. Oklahoma State, Creighton. Excuse me. All right, so we got an interesting bracket here. Let's see what happens. We need an emoji for dancing. Like, I can't dance. I don't even want to pretend, but you need something. Look at Calvin Harris. So you can see here some of these ratings have updated. Is that updated? Or has Harris been at 3.5 all season long? I forget. Get us a dancing emoji. We need that for the NCAA tournament, I feel like. So now that we're actually in the NCAA tournament, let's jump over here and take a look and at least see what the scouting report says. I don't feel like it's always 100% accurate, but sometimes it's interesting to take a look at. So the scouting report really likes Marquette Holmes. They're not as big into Brett Stetson. All right. They're not going to give us the advantage at either of these positions. Even though, I mean, look, Higgins is getting a double-double. Ladeau's going 11-6. Like, what else do you need? And they're giving Tulane the advantage on the bench. So let's jump over and take a look at the stats here. All right, so Stetson, Boyce, Holmes. So Harris is getting 6.5 off the bench. Sean Larry's doing better than Lusick ever did. Lusick was just terrible. Ladeau, Higgins, and then Jay Malone actually had a better second half to the season. So it's good to see Jay Malone coming around. I've got expectations for him. Not quite the same as for Higgins, but still, he should be doing well, and that's good to see that he is now. All right, so let's get into this. Come on. One more day. All right. Now, this is my first game, guys, and the first game of this stream in the NCAA tournament. See if we can get lucky. 8-9 is essentially a coin flip. Never know which way it's going to go. I will double down on Higgins and Holmes all day long. Those are my boys. Let's see if they can go out and bring us a big win. We got drubbed. Robert Jones was our best player. We lost by 22 in an 8-9 matchup. Look at this. Robert Jones scored 15. Agalia can... Oh, this is BS. Oh, look at this. This is nonsense. Yes, Higgins only went 7-6. He played 14 minutes. Stetson played 8 minutes. Both of these guys are supposed to play 30 minutes a game, but look at this nonsense. 9 fouls in, 22 minutes? 22 minutes, 9 fouls out of our 2 most important players. I mean, you can throw Holmes in there as another important player. He only got to play 22 minutes. We got completely taken out of the game. That's ridiculous. I guess Dickens got taken out of the game for them as well. But, I mean, we're sitting here relying on a backup, Jones, to play 26 minutes. That's so frustrating. So here's Robert Jones, a senior point guard, who we don't care at all about. And he played 26 minutes, which was second only to Ledoux. He outplayed every single other starter. All right, well, we got absolutely hosed there. You know, it's a young team, though, in the NCAA tournament. That kind of thing can happen. So we had absolutely a very successful regular season. We went 0 for 2 in the postseason, which is just brutally terrible. Nothing at all to be happy about. Definitely would rather take the postseason success, but doesn't always work out. You know, it's one of the things. You can do everything right, and you can bring in the best players, and you can have a great season, and you can just completely flame out. Happens every year in real life. Happens to me all the time. I don't know if it'll be an increase to school prestige or not, because so much of the school prestige increases are reliant on postseason success. So, I don't know. We're through our first weekend of the tournament, though, so let's check this out. All right, are we in our Charlotte region? So, Charlotte region, we almost went chalk. We got Villanova, Memphis, Dayton, and New Mexico. So, Youngstown State upset Illinois by 1 in the first round. Couldn't get past Dayton. Over in St. Louis, we got South Carolina. UConn took out UC. Syracuse and Michigan, no surprises there. Alabama, Virginia, the 12 seed. We knocked them off at home. They're still alive in the Sweet 16. They took out Providence. They're going to be playing Alabama. Yeah, next year we're top 20. And then on the other half, Oregon and Texas. San Jose, we got the 1 seed NC State playing the 12 Army. Look at this. We went 12 versus 13 over here. Both Creighton and Texas A&M got upset in the first round. NC State versus Army. Pitt versus Oklahoma State in the Sweet 16. So, this should be interesting. We are going to... I'm just going to change this to anything else. I like to play through it and not see it and then go back and review it all at once. Of course, we saw Michigan beat the Cuse there. Michigan doing the work. Makes me angry to see UConn in the Elite Eight after we beat them at home and we lost in the first round. All right, so here we are on to Monday. Let's check out the entire NCAA tournament. So, is this... Yeah, in the Final Four, the Villanova Wildcats, the Michigan Wolverines, the Texas Longhorns, and NC State. Oh, God, what are they? Like Wildcats or something. I don't know. So, 2 1 seeds, 2 3 seeds. What is NC State? Let's see how the Final Four goes. NC State Wolfpack, yeah. Total brain lapse there. Hey, Breeze, one of the other things for you to know, I know you're relatively new at the game. You're never going to get any commitments prior to September 11th. That's the first date that commitments are possible in this game. Guys, I think we will take this on into... I think we will take it on into the next season. So anybody that wants to see how these recruits turn out, how the player development works out, we're definitely going to push on into the beginning of the next season and see how that goes. But now we've got our Final Four. Villanova, Michigan, Texas, NC State. Who's going to take home the championship? Who's going to have that one shining moment? As Justin and the NCBA was so shocked to find NC State's in. I did not see who won the first game. All right, so your Longhorns are out, Chris. We got NC State versus the Villanova Wildcats. So 1 seed on 1 seed action here in the NCAA final. Monday, April the 3rd. Biggest day of the year in the NCAA. And the Villanova Wildcats bring it home in style. 21 points over NC State. So let's go check out our awards for the year. I'm going to skip right over the national awards because I know we're not going to be over there. What we are going to look at is our conference awards. Freshman of the year, Greg London, 11-8. You can't tell me double Higgins wasn't ahead of that. That's some nonsense. London was just on a better team. Look, Higgins is still... Look, 12 points, 9 rebounds a game. Second team All-American. Or second team All-Conference, rather. 12-9. This guy was 11-8. Okay, more 1.6, 1.4, and 1.5. 1.6, 1.4, 1.5. So you're going to give it to that dude because of assists and steals, even though Higgins gets the blocks and the points and the rebounds? I don't know. I think that's nonsense. I think Higgins should have been the freshman of the year. I feel like we got gypped. I think Agalia is the one picking out these awards. I think Agalia picked the awards. I got hosed. That's annoying. It is nice to have an all-conference player, though, as a freshman, especially one who's going to be coming back for a second year. Higgins looks about 29, doesn't he? All right, later, Blazer. Take care, buddy. No, Higgins is going to stick around for another year. All right. Wrong direction. See that, Agalia? That's what happens when you lose in the postseason. We went down in school prestige after making the NCAA tournament. 36-32. You got to win in the postseason. That's embarrassing. I mean, we got everything else taken care of, but yeah, I mean, you can't lose in the postseason. You just can't. Let's take a look at our staff. I don't know if that means one more year remaining or if they're both about to be available. Nah, neither of y'all are getting promoted, so hopefully not. Well, I mean, you can say it's harsh, but you got to win games in the postseason. We had a better team. We had a team good enough to win games at least in the conference tournament, if not the NCAA tournament. And it was absolutely just a complete failure. So you see, Fresno State there is almost an interesting team. But we're definitely not moving. There's your ratings changes. Look at that. So the ratings finally changed. Look at that, Agalia. Who's a 5-star player now? Marquette Holmes dropped back down to 3.5. Harris at 3.5. DD Higgins, jumped up to a 5-star player, which is pretty much what he should have already been. Ledo up to a 4-star. So you can see here, this is, if you would have told me this was the evaluation of this team, this is pretty much what I expected. And because I expected this kind of talent, I expected them to be this kind of good, that's the reason that I'm so very disappointed in how terribly they performed in the postseason. Higgins, Ledo, we've got players here to do it. Yes, they're young, but they should have done it. Agalia just likes to run that yap. Look at that. Look who's the most important player on the team. Look at the pie chart. 17.64. Nobody else even close. Holmes is more than 4 points behind him. Some of us know how to evaluate talent. Let's see if we can skip through staff hiring if we got to hire somebody. Yeah, Holmes dropped back a bit. He was a little bit overrated, especially for a freshman. I mean, it's not a shock at all. He's a good scorer, certainly. All right, so now we do have coaching vacancies. Let's see what they are. So our third assistant got hired out somewhere else. This guy's doing scouting. He could be an all right practice coach, though. Really don't have a lot of money to go here. Oh, look at that. Shoot, he's not very good at offense or defense coaching, though. When he's very good at player development. See if we can steal him for nothing. Hold on. It is a third assistant coach. Yep, for practice, I sort it by player development, and then I'll look for people with good offensive and defensive skills. At a school this small, you really don't have it. I would almost move Brinker into that position. In fact, I think I actually will move Brinker into that position. Because, I mean, there's just nothing else available. We don't have the money. There's nobody out there. So let's just go grab us a scout. We can probably offer him just the minimum. He went to Cal State Fullerton. #1 assistant. Good on him. Reputation mostly increases their salary demand. So, I mean, it's the same as our reputation. It doesn't do a whole lot. It's giving you a bit of a window as to how much you're going to have to pay them. So there's a second assistant making $16 a year. Hold on, let's do this. All right, so he's still on that list. We're probably not gonna be pulling head coaches. So this guy's a 31. This one's a 40. But he's a second assistant making $16 a year. So this would be interesting to see. This would be interesting to see if they're more interested in the position or the money. So let's offer him $25 a year. Yeah, Galileo, we appreciate you, buddy. So Steve Ongley, he liked the money. So the money was more important than the position. Definitely good to know. Ooh, I got more vacancies. Did Brinker left? Come on, man. Now I need a practice coach. Shoot. Went to ECU. What a jerk. Going to the enemy. Alright, so now we also need a practice coach. So that's exciting. I don't even remember what we were paying him. I can probably get recruiting done here for 30 or 35. So I could go decent on here. Oh. So Lapis has got the decent player development. Terrible on offense and defense. J.D. Williams and Carasaro are kind of in the middle. So here's a second assistant making 38, Carasaro. Yikes. What's he making? 38? Let's offer him 45 and see what happens. All right. So we got him. Definitely all about the money on the coach signings. You can pay attention to exactly what coach they are, like first assistant, second assistant, but the money's where it's at. So it's always a good idea to have your recruiting coach as your first assistant because you're generally going to want to pay them all of the money, and then just sort of go down from there and judge it for yourself. So we're paying our assistants $135. We'll still have $40,000 for recruiting, which probably going to end up being about $10,000 to reports, $10,000 or so to camp visits, and then about $25,000 to actual recruiting. All right, we get a petition the board. We should have plenty of job security. We do. I don't care about budget because I will make it happen on recruiting however I have to. So we're going to ask for facilities. Request denied. Basically the same thing that happened with all of our attempts to win in the postseason. All right. So we're headed into yet another season with Tulane. Headed into the fourth season. It should be 2029 on our save. We're approaching 10 years here. The GM Games Twitch feed is approaching 10 years. Guys, I've basically, outside of some processing time, I've live streamed every minute of this save. So approaching 10 years is kind of interesting. We should only be in year 9, but we're getting there. Definitely something to be thinking about. This is the longest processing in the game, other than when it creates a new league. I'm just going from one season to the next, so there's a lot to move through here. I want to see though. I want to first of all see if there's any transfers because I think I ignored player mood the entire season. The Florida A&M years were long because they were so brutal. Like our coach was so bad. Our team prestige was so bad. The conference prestige was so bad. I never had a rattle. I had more of a tss. But yeah, those were just brutal. Like Tulane feels like a breath of fresh air. Even here in year 4. Alright, so we're going to have... what? 40,000 left for recruits and 2 scholarships open for the year. Here's a big one. Our recruit class rankings. So last time we looked at it, we had 4 recruits in the top 100. I would expect that to be somewhere in between, the top 20 to 30. Woo! Number 18, your Tulane Green Wave. Number 18 in the nation. Georgia Tech, North Carolina, Florida, a handful of schools that like to pay players like Wisconsin, cheaters. Texas, definitely cheaters. Is Kentucky in here? Wherever they are, they're cheaters too. But Tulane, no bribes. You guys saw every minute of it. We're in the top 20 legit. So definitely making moves here at Tulane. There's your recruit rankings. Let's go ahead, buy our reports. I know y'all want me to hit the dashboard and see the stars. I won't do it until we know who is going to be on our roster. All right, so $40,000. We're going to get the basic Southeast report. We're also going to grab that basic Great Plains report. We'll recruit out of both those regions. That leaves us $30,000. With our camp visits, we'll probably be down to around 20. Shoot. Somebody transferred out, I think. I didn't stay there long enough to look, but it certainly looked like we had less players than I thought we should. So I hesitate to click on this, but oh, sweet, nobody left. I don't know why that was so nerve-wracking. I really didn't think it looked like we had enough players. Maybe all of our walk-ons graduated or something. All right, when it's done processing these transfers, that's when we'll delete all the old emails and take a look at our dashboard and see what kind of evaluations we have on our players, given that our scout still isn't great, but we definitely have a lot more information now than we had before on these guys. So I think the only senior we lost was Boyce. So now we've gotten some fresh evaluations. Higgins back down to a 4-star, which is probably more accurate. Grundy, the freshman, also coming in at a 4-star, looking good, along with Ledoux. So you can see there, Ledoux, Higgins, and Grundy should absolutely make up the core of our inside rotation. Malone can be a 4th man. Arthur Nixon, a freshman with a 4-star rating at the small forward position, and he was a top 50 player. Sean Larry was very much lower, so we may start Nixon. We'll think about that. But then we got Harrison Holmes. Holmes is definitely going to start. Stetson definitely going to start. Haywood, another point guard freshman with a very solid rating coming out of high school. So, guys, and Boyce is still here. Boyce is only a senior now. So we've got, I talked last season about guys we could trust. Now we have Stetson, Haywood. Boyce has played well. Holmes, Harris, Larry, Nixon, 10, 11 guys we trust. Guys, this is turning into the type of roster that I tend to have when I play at, extremely high-level schools. So the inside has 3 exceptional players. We have 2 exceptional players at the 3, and we have maybe 4 exceptional guards. This is a team that should absolutely be top 25, should absolutely win games in every tournament they play in. This is awesome. I'm going to go ahead and save it right here. I know we could do summer travel and advance a day. I'm not going to do any recruiting, though, which would actually start tomorrow. So here, guys, is a look at your 2028 Tulane Green Wave. This team, they're going to win 20, if not 25 games. They're definitely winning an NCAA game. And they're going to compete for the AAC championship. So I really, really appreciate you guys stopping by. Thanks to Agalia again for being, the first to subscribe and follow and all that good stuff. Make sure, if you all have any questions, anybody else has any questions or wants to join NCBA, jump out, join us on Discord, ask away, or just leave comments on the video or whatever. But I really appreciate you guys stopping by, and I'll see you all next time.